Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. We're going to talk about NXT Vengeance Day because it just went off and it was fucking amazing. If you didn't watch the show, you're a loser. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. You're a loser. Okay? Because you missed it. You missed out on true fun. Okay? Absolutely glorious. Hits off to bald-headed ass Shawn Michaels, okay? Because only a bald-headed hoe could put together a show like that, okay? Applause! It's an applause. Only a bald-headed hoe could put together a show like that. Only a bald-headed hoe. Anyways, hello. How are you? Hey, okay. So let me get straight into business. Okay, if you are not watching NXT, you're missing out because NXT just had their PLE, and we're gonna talk about it. Okay, the PLE started at 6. It is now 9:30. What started at 7? I thought it started at 6. It actually started at 6 because there was a pre-show. If you were on there for the pre-show. But the show itself started at 7. So we'll work our way backwards and start with the matches that were good but weren't as good as the other matches. Yeah? Okay, let's start here. This was your main event. Okay, it was Saints versus Hendry. They were going back and forth. And if you were watching the show and you have premium Peacock, right, then you are able to see that there was a little precursor to Ethan Page being out there during this match. Okay. Before the match got to the start, Ricky Saints was trying to, coax Ethan Page into being his bestest pal and making sure that, he walked out of Vengeance Day as champion. Now, it kind of worked. But what he did is set forth a course of events that are going to happen later that are going to be designed for Ethan Page to probably swoop in and steal a little something. You see, Ethan was a little depressed and down because he lost his North American Championship, rightfully so. Not only that, but the man lost it in his draws. Like, that man was down to his undies, okay? Losing his title and his paints, baby, that's embarrassing. Okay, so he was sitting back there soaking in his business. And of course, Saints capitalized on him, was like, hey, you can always get back to that road. Just, pick yourself up. I got you, friend. We together. Cool. So tonight, Ricky Saints went to him and said, hey, where was my friend last week? I got jumped. Vanity Project was out there, but that wasn't enough. If we would have had you, we would have been able to overpower. What's good? Where were you? What's happening? And of course, Ethan's like, look, I lost my title. I was feeling a little down on myself. I was depressed. Okay. Give me that. And Saint says, you know what? You're right. You're right about that. You're right. But listen, I have a title shot tonight, and you could work your way back up to that, 2-time North American championship, huh? Huh? I'm already going to be a 2-time champ. A 2-time champ and his bestest pal, right? Right. We can be in this together, right? And Ethan was like, yeah, don't worry. I'll be out there for you. I got your back. Sure. And then after Saints left, he got a little smile on his face. And Ethan Page says, yeah, 2-time. And I said, oh, shit. He's got gold on his brain. And he ain't talking about that North American championship. You see, Ethan Page was NXT champion at one point in his life. Okay, so him going back after the North American championship right now, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Niles Bourne has beaten him twice. He's not going to be number one, but he definitely has a path to going after that NXT championship. Now, looking at the match and how it played out, both men did pretty damn good in this match. Okay, they did excellent in this match, but it was what happened at the end that caused a lot of makeshift problems. Number one, Ethan Page came out and was hyper fixated on the NXT championship, so much so Ricky Saints thought he was going to grab the title and give it to him, which I actually thought Ethan was going to knock Ricky Saints out, which would have made more sense to me. But that's not what happened. So, Saints asks him for the title after a little bit of time passes, and he throws it in the ring, and it slides all the way in the middle next to Joe Hendry. Okay? Now, as they tussle over this title, the ref takes it from him. Ricky low blows him. He did the same thing to Javon Evans, and that's how he beat Javon Evans a little while ago. So, we see this happening again, and everybody has lost it. They're all thinking that it's over and over and over. Now, you only saw 20 minutes of the show, Nicole. Oh my God. Please go watch all of it because it was incredible. But Saints thought he had it with this low blow. He didn't. They ended up having a back and forth with the referee. And then as they were in the corner the second time with Joe Hendry got a little bit of revenge and low blow Saints. And that's how he was able to retain his championship. And I know that they're going to go back to this and revisit it. And all of this is going to come to the forefront. But I have a feeling that it's not going to just be Saints going after that title. It's going to be Ethan Page too. And that is a very, very interesting, fortunate series of events. Okay? As much as I love Joe, I like a little chaos and bullshit every now and then. And this title needs that. But for now, Joe Hendry is your NXT champion. He has retained. Congratulations, Joey. Moving on to the next match that we saw. This wasn't the next match. We're gonna keep going backwards because it's what we do. There were a lot of women's matches on this card. Well, it wasn't a lot, but the women's matches were pretty steep. Actually, yeah, it was. It was more women's matches than it was men's matches. And the women's matches were stellar. They were absolutely stellar. This was an underground match. And Kaylani, I'll put it to you this way. Kaylani went into this match overly confident and didn't think that just because Lola Vice didn't have her hand at full capacity, that she couldn't get her little bony ass knocked the fuck out. And that is exactly what happened. You see, if Kaylani had went on a tear the way she had been doing, attacking this lady's hand for the last 3 weeks or a couple of months, then maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. Hands out. But this is all Kaylani's fault. Now, Kaylani hyper fixated on Lola for getting kicked out of the locker room. However, I did not see her go after Callie or Carmen or any of the other girls who sided with Lola, and not even JC Jane, who was champion, who she should have been going after. But boo frickety who, she decided that Lola Vice was her target. And when WWE put it together, which I do appreciate a little callback story, Lola Vice was the one who won the breakout tournament due to Kaylani losing to her. Now, everything comes full circle. But you can't do bad things and think you're going to get rewarded. That's not how the world works, babe. Now, Kaylani cannot be the little sister, the nice one, and all that shit. I don't give a fuck. Don't do that. But going after Lola Vice and not having a true reason to go after her other than jealousy and animosity is crazy to me. But that's what she did. She attacked Lola because Lola did not get demonized the way that she did when she decided to side with TNA. The big difference between you and Lola Vice, though, babe, is this. AAA is a part of WWE as a conglomerate, meaning it is WWE. You can't separate the two. One goes with the other. It turns the hand. TNA, however, is its own entity working with WWE. It's a partnership, which means it's an outside company that allows you guys to walk through their doors simultaneously. You did side with TNA, and that put you at a big disadvantage in your locker room as well as with your fellow wrestlers. So this is kind of the consequences of your actions. They kicked you out of the locker room because you were on TNA's side, babe, and that's just the facts. Now, do I agree with kicking you out the locker room? No, I didn't agree with that at all. Do I understand it? Yeah, I do understand it. You were champion at the time and you made a decision. But the problem is that you festered and sat on this for months on end, and then you waited until Lola Vice was able to go to AAA and become an even bigger star in AAA, and that's what pissed you off. Now we're here where you're attacking the girl every 2 seconds because the first time y'all fought, she hit you with that back fist and took your ass out. So what you thought was that her only weapon in her arsenal was that back fist, right? So you targeted her week after week after week after week. Then your bum ass went to go train with Shayna Baszler. Let me put it to you the nice way. I don't think I would train with a woman who got beat by the woman I'm fighting. Does that make sense? Like, I understand you going to pick up a few things, but maybe you should have diversified your arsenal a bit. Walked around a little bit more. Maybe you should have went to a few more people, get your game up a little bit, step your cookies up, because right here, all you got was the hand manipulation, which is cool, but it didn't help you because as soon as Lola was able to hit that back fist, you were out, and that bitch clobbered the fuck out of you after that. She was beating your ass and you were dead to rights. I said, oh, there's a death being had in the ring, Jesus. Girl, you got what you deserved. And you got me in here rooting for Lola Vice. Your ass got exactly what you deserve. She whipped your ass like you rightfully deserve. Now take your ass in that locker room and go after JC Jane and her title and stop being stupid. Please. Thank you. We're moving on. Now, oh, I forgot. Hold on. We got to show Lola was the winner. She was the winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Love that for her. Amazing show. Yes, it was very good. Haki only saw 20 minutes of this show. Facts. I'm gonna get to Blake in a second, Nicole. Give me a minute. I gotta work backwards. All right. One of my favorite matches on this show was this one. It was Tatum versus Izzy. This one was a long one, but it was well worth the watch. The girls were going back and forth, and they fought their asses off in this match. And I will say this. I give Izzy Dame a lot of flack, but one thing you can't say is that girl can't wrestle and she can't talk. She was out there putting in work against Tatum, and Tatum gave her the business just as good. Now, y'all already know these two story. Izzy targeted Tatum because she thought she was weak, and she wanted to use her, thinking she could be the stepping stone to get to the top. Well, that ain't what ended up happening. You see, Tatum ended up getting the championship, and Izzy kind of acted like she was cool with it, but she really wasn't. She wasn't happy about that at all. She felt like, I'm the one who gave her the elevation and the confidence. It was all me, and this bitch gets the title. I'm gonna bide my time until I'm ready to turn on her ass, and that's exactly what she did. She turned on her. She stole her title from her, and not took it, but actually gave it back to JC Jane, which I'm gonna get to that bitch in a minute. Gave her back her championship, and then she went on this tear of constantly tearing Tatum down. So Tatum began to systematically take out every one of Izzy's protections, from Sean Spears to Nico, and then even Izzy herself. She made sure to dismantle that little confidence veil that they have at the culling, but also to break through so Izzy understood that Tatum was no longer the little girl that she was just carting around and being a friend to because it made her feel good. Oh, no, no, no. Tatum understood now that nothing was going to stand in her way, and that she didn't need Izzy to be loved or anybody in the locker room, that she was fine on her own, but she was satiated with the love and admiration of the fans. And that is what gave her all the strength to do what she was able to do today, which is become your new North American champion. That's right. That's right. Izzy Dane has lost her championship, ladies and gentlemen. She is no longer at the top of the mountain in her group, nor in the women's division. She's at the bottom. She must start over. Bottom. She must start over, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Tatum is riding high, and she has been champion twice now, at the top of the division and in the mid card. Can't say that about a lot of people. But you can say that about Tatum. So, what's next for Tatum Paxley? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But if I had to give their match a grade, I would definitely give it an A. I think their match was awesome. From the twists and the turns and all the stuff that was happening, grade A match. Let's go back for a little bit. I'll give you a grade on the other match. I'll give this match a B minus. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't great. I wasn't all the way enthralled with the match. I did understand the reasoning behind everything that was happening because I was watching it. But even when they started back when they were in the breakout tournament, it makes more sense now that they've stacked the deck. You know what I'm saying? But I give it a B minus. I think it was a good match. I'm not a big fan of the underground match in that regard, but this one wasn't as good as the others. So I'm going to give it a B minus. For Joe Hendry's match, I give it an A minus. I think the match was good. I think Ethan Page coming out there was also interesting. I just wanted their match to just be a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more from it. I wanted to be more excited about it. And it didn't do that for me. Doesn't mean it was a bad match. I just give it an A minus because I wanted it to be better. Now, we're moving into my two favorite matches from the night. Oh, my favorites. My favorites. Let's start here. Okay, this was the opener. It was Jada Parker versus Blake Monroe, and this. Oh, you don't like steroids? This was your opener. This was probably Shawn Michaels is ingenious with the way he books my foot, honey. He's ingenious with the way he books his shows. This match set the tone for the rest of the night. He could have very easily put Tony and Dion up first, and it would have done really well in terms of setting the tone as well. But he put the girls up first, and they did an incredible job of just going at each other's throats. This match was brutal. It was nasty, and they were going in on each other, okay? From the teardrop from the top rope down on Blake while she was on the table, y'all. Then you had Blake slamming Jada Parker. Jada Parker got her ass whooped in this match, and she was still fighting. She did that hypnotic once, and I think she hit it on the steel steps, messed her hip up the whole night. But bitch, these hoes was fighting. It wasn't until Blake brought out them fake diamonds to put out in the middle of that damn ring, and she tore Jada Parker's ass up with that DDT. Baby, it was after she had pulled a Trish Stratus and threw her off of the turnbuckle onto the damn fake diamonds. I said, Lord, oh, my bike, honey. My bike, honey. Oh, thank you, Main Event Raw. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, love. Main Event from. Sorry. Love you though. Thank you. But listen, not money. But listen, when I tell you that this match hit the way it was supposed to hit and rock this damn show like it should have, it was so good. Your winner was Blake Monroe. She was so good in this match. So was Jada Parker. I give Jada Parker all the props in the world. This is an A+ match. I don't care what you're talking about. They had no blips. There were no mistakes here. It was completely flawless performance on both sides. Both women went all the way in and gave you everything from start to finish. You did not know who was going to win simply because you went into this match. But I was under the assumption that Blake was going to win because, one, she needed this. She has done specialty matches before when she flips to her heel side, and she has lost that specialty match. It was time for her to get a W in the element that she would thrive in the most, and this was that one. She really did exceptional. But Jada Parker, girl, you get your props for me today. I be on your ass, and you got a big ass, but I be on your ass, Jada Parker. But you know what? You get props for me today, sis, because you tore her ass up. You almost had that bitch, but what you did was you underestimated her because you thought she was going to be so concerned with vanity. But that bitch didn't give a fuck about that. She was trying to kill your ass. That's all, that's all that was about. And she took your ass to the night water. She definitely did, baby. She definitely did. You got tore up. You got tore up, honey. They was out there hitting it. Okay. Now this man, Nicole hates Tony. She hates Tony, but I'm sorry, Nicole. Tony did exceptionally well today. He really did. This match started in the parking lot. Okay. It started in the parking lot. Now, Dark State tried to have Tony's back in this match. I mean, have Dion's back in this match, but they got ousted immediately. Cutler was out. I don't know what happened to Cutler, but after they got locked out the first time, Cutler was not a part of the fighting. You didn't see Cutler no more for the rest of the night, but you did see OTM. When they got back outside and was getting ready to work their way back into the arena, OTM took out Osiris and Suge. So there was no more Dark State to go after Tony and help Dion. It was all Dion and Tony after that. And we saw niggas going through walls. Dion went through a wall. Tony and Dion both crashed through the wall coming into the match to get back into the PC to start the damn match. All of that shit happened before the match even started. Tony had crowbars and was tearing people up. Niggas was getting thrown into roadie boxes. They was getting their asses whipped. All kind of shit was happening. It was just bodies on some Franklin shit. Okay? Everybody was getting their ass whooped. Then when they got in the actual match, when they actually got in the ring, that's when shit got real. Dion suplexed Tony through the announcer's table. You have to see it to understand how he did it. Dion was on the barricade behind the announcer's table, not in front, not on the side, and he wasn't standing on it. He was behind it, okay? On the barricade, Tony was in the crowd. He picks Tony up, and he suplexed that man through the goddamn table. The table was tore up. I was sitting here gobsmacked at this shit. When they got back in the ring, Dion almost had that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, Tony was able to fight out. And then it was just a back and forth all night throughout that match. It didn't end until Tony they was both countering each other's moves. Tony got the drop on him and was able to spear him and then hit him with that massive power bomb that he usually hits. It is brutal. This match was fire. This is an A+ match for me. I don't care what anybody says. I could rewatch this and be satisfied. I can rewatch Blake's match and be satisfied. I can rewatch Tatum's match and be satisfied. These matches were fire as matches. They really did a good job of making sure each match either ended the feud that they had or set the new one on a new trail in motion. But you were entertained from start to finish in every single match. This was fire. Okay. Absolutely amazing. Tony D'Angelo is your winner and your victor. He has now decided he is moving on. Where he's moving on to, that's up to Tony D'Angelo and the powers that be. But for right now, the dark state is dead. But what you need to be focused on is what OTM said. You see, OTM came out there and they asked him, "Hey, what y'all doing? What y'all coming out here, helping Tony D'Angelo?" And they was like, "We ain't trying to help no motherfucking Tony D'Angelo. You see, Dark State been around here messing up shit, interrupting people's matches, disrespecting titles, stealing championships, beating people down whenever they felt like it, and we sick of that shit. We tired of that. So one, we gonna deal with them because they was in our business, so now we're in theirs. And now that they understand that ain't nobody scared of them, oh yeah, we gonna take it to them like we always do. And then when we want to go after them tag team titles, we gonna take it." And I was like, okay, period. Period. Get you a piece. And get you some, okay? Get you a piece. Let me see what Nicole, she said, Blake knows she's always going to be a baddie, and she isn't afraid to be in the trenches. No, she's very good at it. Sounds like a hell of a deal. Is it real? Oh, no, he didn't. Crazy. Okay. Now, here's what we need to talk about last, okay? When you get to the middle of the show is when Robert Stone was out there to talk about Jacy Jayne and her title and where she's going to go next. So Jacy Jayne decided to come out there with her merry band of idiots and got in the ring and decided she wanted to cut a promo and give a speech about how her title reign has been immaculate. She's been the most dominant champion in NXT history. Really, it's a lot of blowhard and bullshit, okay? Because let's be real. Let's keep it all the way funky and be 1,000% honest. I can say a lot of things about Mandy Rose, but Mandy Rose did have points where she defended her championship with no help from Fatal Influence or Toxic Attraction for her. Right? There have been championship title reigns when it came to Shayna Baszler, one of the greatest NXT women's champions of all time, defended that title solely on her own without nobody interfering and was completely dominant. Right? Same thing goes for Rhea Ripley. The same thing goes for Alba Fire over in NXT UK, which a lot of people don't be giving Alba Fire her props, but she was one of the most dominant champions in NXT and one of the longest reigning women's champions of all time. Okay, go look it up. Clock the T. Okay, go look it up. Now, Asuka was a dominant champion and always defended her title without help. But I'm sorry. When I see Jacy Jayne, all I see is a champion that shouldn't have been champion this long. Let me make sure I make it clear so don't nobody think that I'm hating on Jacy Jayne. First things first, Jacy Jayne has had two iterations of Fatal Influence, and only reason why she keeps them around is so that she can continue to be champion. They have helped her maintain her championship time and time and time again. There has yet to be a title defense where she has defended her title without interference from Fatal Influence. Yet every time you turn around, she's boasting and bragging and yelling and screaming about how great she is. I would not say a damn thing if you were champion and you defended that title on your own lonesome. Wouldn't say nothing. I could still can't stand you and be like, girl, you get on my fucking nerves, but I can't do nothing but respect what you pulling down, right? Now, your own homegirls was out there while you was talking all that bullshit, clocking your teeth. Fucking Lainey said it, and no girl said it. Both of them said it. They was like, Fallon was like, I done helped her be champion multiple times. And I was like, and did 1,000%. Lainey was like, I done helped her be champion before too, and you don't see me complaining about it. And I'm like, yeah, you should. Because what are y'all doing? The best thing you could do, Fallon, is to be WWE Speed Champion, and the only claim to fame that you want to have is you being a former NXT North American Champion and now being a WWE Speed Champion. Like, my thing is this. I don't mind being your homegirl, but at least if you're going to be champion, elevate me, bitch. Fuck wrong with you? Like, you telling me that the best thing you got for me is to be a speed champion? You telling me the best thing you got for Lainey is for her to be just hanging on your titty every day? Like, that's the best thing you got? Okay. Yeah, you're the dominant champion, correct? You're the one who's taking over and everything. Then you start talking about how you beat Soul in seconds. This was after Soul got beat down by her own homegirl, Zarya, right? Then you talk about how you had Zarya beat. I'll give it to you. You and Zarya was laid out together, though. You were not moving, and the only time you did move is when both of y'all got up, and then you got your soul snatched. That's what happened. It wasn't like you had rolled over and pinned Zarya, and then Soul came out there and broke it up. That never happened. You was laid out dead to rights. After you hit Zarya, which you should have pinned her if you was going to do all of that. But you couldn't do that. So then she got mad in her feelings, like, all of y'all said I was a transitional champion. And I was like, well, you should have been. If we're being honest, you should have been. But you weren't. And that is what it is. You're still champion. Now, after she got to talking, Zarya came out there and basically cut her and her friends down and was like, all y'all okay with having her back, and you don't know who you're going to trust because every time you look over your shoulder, you're waiting for one of y'all to do something, ain't you? And I'm like, yeah, you are, because y'all should be, especially Fallon. Like, Fallon is one of the best people in the group. No disrespect to JC Jane. I ain't trying to take her out and make it seem like she ain't got no skills. I give JC Jane props where props is due. But there has been yet a time where that woman has been able to go it alone without no help from nobody. Every time she has succeeded, she's been in some type of group. Fatal Influence, Toxic Attraction, Chase You. You tell me one time where she's done something on her own with no help from nobody, and I will back off. I'll back it off. I say, okay, you got me. In all of her success, where has there been an instance where she was just like, I'm going to go this alone and I'm going to do it on my own? Because every time she's been ousted or thrown out of a group, or the group is disbanded, or she's been the one to do something stupid, she fails hard. We talking on your face, on that big ass nose of yours, doesn't get up. The only time she succeeds is when she convinces other people to be wrapped around her finger. So where's the dominance? Where's the true nature of your championship qualities aside from manipulation and bullshit? Man, I just want to understand. So while she was talking all that bullshit, Zarya came out there. Zarya got to talking. Zarya said, nah, y'all just be looking all over y'all shoulders too, waiting to see what's gonna happen, and you just don't know when the other one's gonna strike. Then Zarya said something and she waited. I don't know if it was Zarya doing it too fast or if WWE didn't hit Soul's music properly like they should have. But Soul's music hit a little late, which made it look like Zarya didn't know what she needed to say or what she was supposed to say. It kind of made Zarya look a little dumb. You know what I'm saying? It made her look a little weird. But we're going to move past that, because Soul came out there and was like, all I see is two souls that are going to be mine very, very soon. And I was like, period. She got in there. She was like, listen. She was like, basically, Jason Jane, the only reason why your ass champion is because of them two hoes you got on flanking you every single week. And she was like, as far as you, Zarya, as far as you and I trust you. But you know what? It's cool. It's cool, because she said, you ain't getting no closer to that championship. She said, that championship is mine. And you just going, she said, if I'm selfish, then I'll be selfish. I don't have no problem being selfish. But that title is mine. And you just going to have to deal with it. So the girls arguing, and every time Robert Stone got ready to say something, them hoes kept cutting him off. And he was like, nah, listen. I've made a decision on JC Jane. He said, JC Jane, you will defend your championship. It ain't gonna be next week. It's gonna be the week after next. It's gonna be JC Jane versus Zarya versus Sol Ruka for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, of course, they weren't happy about that, so they attacked Sol, and Zarya just stood there. Then after she pulled JC Jane off, she attacked Sol too. And then the girls started fighting. She got rid of that Fallon. Laney got out, and then JC Jane was being protected by her homegirls. So Sol was able to get her soul snatcher on Zarya. She was trying to hit both of them, but she only hit Zarya because Fallon got back in there and saved her homegirl. I don't know why. I'd let her get her soul snatched again. Now, I need y'all to pay attention, okay? Because, all right, it is the 7th of March. On the 21st, I believe, is when, well, on the 18th is when they're going to have this championship match between JC, Zarya, and Sol. They have NXT Stand and Deliver on the 4th of April. That'll be 2 weeks from when they have this championship match. They are doing a lot in a small little bit of time, okay? But I'm here for it all. Overall, if I had to give this show a rating, I would give it a solid A. I think that it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It set up the dominoes for the next set of challenges moving into NXT. We're probably going to see a lot from OTM and Dark State. They're probably going to be going at it. And, of course, we've seen where they're going to have Elio LaFleur. I think they're going to have Jackson or Jasper facing off against Shane and Eli Knight next week. But you're going to have a lot of matches next week. And of course, Blake Monroe, now, since she's clear of Jada Parker, where is Blake Monroe going to go? What is she going to do? She could very well go back after her North American championships since Tatum Paxley has it. But if I were them, I would let Izzy Dame get one more shot at that title and have it done at Stand and Deliver and then be done with it. But Jada Parker and Blake Monroe are finished. Their feud is done. And we'll see where Jada Parker goes from here and where Blake goes from here. We'll also want to see where Tony D'Angelo is going to go from here and what he's going to be doing in the near future. Plus, where does this leave Dark State? They have suffered a loss back-to-back because of Tony D'Angelo's actions. And D'Angelo seems to be done with Dark State because he succeeded in doing what he set out to do. Also, where does this leave the NXT Men's Championship? Because Ethan Page has his eye on the prize just as much as Ricky Saints does, and their current champion is Joe Hendry. All this is still hanging in the balance, and I guess we will see as the show begins to play out. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see where everything is headed when we start going into Stand and Deliver. I hope you guys enjoyed NXT Vengeance Day. It was such a good show. If you missed it, you missed out on a real treat. I highly recommend that you go and watch the replay if the replay is available. If it isn't, wait till it becomes available and go watch it. You will not be disappointed. I appreciate you guys for coming over here. I know there was no reading and chill tonight, but it is coming. I will have it up probably sometime next week, and we'll finish out reading our book, Black as Fuck History, and then we'll move on to a fiction book, something that's a little bit more fun, and we'll have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Reading it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope and pray that you have a good time and a good week because I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.